Hello, thanks for checking out our paper in this video. My name is Hwang, and I'm a postdoc at Cornell University. In this video, I will walk you through our CHI paper looking at how designers integrate pervasive sensing and AI into the current mental health ecosystem. This work is a collaboration with my wonderful co-authors Adler, Meir Friedenberg, and Qian Yang. In this paper, we look into the promises and concerns about combining pervasive sensing and AI to build societal scale systems. To study this topic, we look at how hospitals and consumer health tech companies are integrating pervasive sensing and mass-scale digital behavioral data into mental health care. Prior work has provided some clues for what that may look like in mental health care. It starts with collecting a wide range of data from diverse sources to capture individuals' behavioral patterns. With such data, one can build various layers of AI models to predict individuals' behavioral markers and make predictions about their clinical stage, such as whether a person is clinically depressed or not. This piece of prediction can then inform decision-making for a variety of mental health interventions, including those for clinical treatments and for improving your everyday wellness. In this current work, we examine whether and how this vision of building societal scale systems with pervasive sensing data and AI is actually put into practice. We are interested in what practitioners do and the consequences of what they are doing at the moment. So we interviewed 9 platform designers. These are people who currently work on developing societal scale AI systems and integrating them into the current healthcare and wellness ecosystem. As you can probably tell, we are expanding the concept of designers here, and our participants come with quite a range of background and professional experience. These include participants from the clinical side, such as CMIO, VP, and health IT directors at major hospitals. We also have participants working on and leading their teams to build consumer health tech. Finally, we also have participants with public health expertise and had experience working in health departments at the government. At the same time, we supplement their opinions with perspectives from other stakeholders in this ecosystem, including patients and providers of mental health care. Our findings show that various challenges have caused designers to compromise their vision for societal scale AI design. And many of these challenges arise from competition between consumer health tech companies and large EHR/EMR vendors. These competitions can come in 2 forms. The first is who owns more data and becomes the gatekeeper of data. Primary data contributors become important stakeholders for designer to win this type of competition. For example, if a designer primarily gets behavioral data through a consumer health app, their data contributors are the users of the app. If they primarily source data from clinical venues, then their primary data contributors are clinical professionals. Designers also compete by showing the benefits of adopting their apps, such as whether the apps can be easily streamlined with user behaviors or clinical workflows. And designers would also want to prove the effect of interventions delivered through their apps. As designers address these challenges, they often end up narrowing down the scope of their design. Instead of practicing societal scale design, they often apply user-centered design to make sure their app meets the needs and preferences of their primary data contributors. The compatibility of their apps with existing systems and data pipeline at both clinical and non-clinical environments is typically a priority. But as our participants pointed out, systems in use, especially systems at hospitals, are often not the state of the art. So, in order to prioritize compatibility with these systems, designers oftentimes have to hold back technical innovation. To achieve many of these goals, this requires designers to form strategic partnerships and to show the concrete effect of their apps. Forming liaisons with multiple partners can take much time and resource, and to show the effect of their apps, designers need benchmarks to compare to. But the reality is, finding concrete measurement and benchmark has always been a struggle in the mental health care field. After all, what does it mean to capture people's overall wellness? Now that we have learned a little bit about the current practices of these designers, let's compare their original vision for societal scale AI design to what they are currently doing at the moment. Designers started with this grand vision of sourcing data from diverse sources to build AI applications. Ideally, these applications can deliver multiple interventions to improve patients' wellness holistically. But the reality is they often have to focus on particular stakeholders and only source data from these key contributors. So designers who primarily source data from hospitals, they want to make sure their apps enhance the productivity and efficiency in clinical workflows. For designers who source data from consumer health tech, user engagement with these apps then become the target of their design. Designers then build individual apps that are best at meeting these specific goals and needs, while delivering specific interventions one at a time. If they have the resources, designers can expand to create multiple apps. Each of these apps again delivers specific intervention and serves specific metrics and design goals to meet the needs of their stakeholders. So the current practice of societal scale design turns out to be quite different from designers' original vision. But is this a good or bad thing? Well, our participants have already pointed out several consequences and concerns. First of all, as designers focus on building and delivering one intervention and addressing one metric and goal at a time, the process from development to evaluation and then to launching their applications become much longer. Their stakeholders might disengage halfway through, and not every designer and their team has the resource to sustain till they deliver all the interventions and services that they planned for. This left a lot of societal scale design plans unfinished and left behind a number of apps. Each of these apps delivers only a subset of care. Our designers and our participants are concerned this can further exacerbate the already very fragmented healthcare space. Here, we look at an example of how that might impact the journey of a patient with schizophrenia. Like any patients, they have their good days and bad days, and depending on their symptom severity, that determines whether they received clinical treatments or rely on other non-clinical support. That means they currently receive both clinical and non-clinical care, and depending on their symptom severities, if their conditions are more severe, passing the diagnosis threshold, they would receive clinical treatment. If not, they rely on other non-clinical resources and support. If adopting pervasive sensing and AI applications become a part of their standard treatment protocol, what will likely happen is every time when they transition between different types of care and different types of intervention, they will need to use a new app for that specific purpose. So, as one of our participants pointed out, imagine if you have to use 8 different apps for your mental health. That is putting a lot more work on both patients and physicians. Up to here, you can probably get a sense that many of these design practices happen in parallel, and there isn't a lot of considerations around how things might or might not work together for patients and physicians as they navigate across the full healthcare ecosystem. And this could also lead to conflicting interests between patients and designers. For example, while patients want to get more time speaking and interacting directly with their doctors, designers are trying to make clinical practice more efficient and help physicians save time, especially saving time from having to treat and face their patients directly. At the same time, patients are willing to share their data to improve these applications because they believe these applications could enable fairer healthcare experience by enabling greater accessibility, availability, and affordability of mental health care across different communities and across a wider population. But designers actually have a lot of doubts. They doubted whether these applications actually enhance health equity or whether they are bringing more benefits to people who already enjoy rich resources for mental health care. To conclude, we found that designers are quite struggling with designing and building societal-scale AI systems with pervasive sensing and AI. These struggles come from several types of competition between consumer health tech companies and large vendors, which causes designers to narrow down the scope of their design and shift away from their societal scale vision. Such practice can potentially make patients' mental health care journey more fragmented, especially when they transition across different types of care. Our present work also revealed a number of open questions for societal scale human-AI interaction design, which we highly encourage future work to explore. This includes how to define the scope of societal scale design, how to project possible consequences, and also the growth of pervasive sensing and AI applications across time and space. We also ask how might designers and researchers enable smoother transitions across different types of care, across different fractions of an ecosystem. And finally, how might designers, researchers, and practitioners account for other indirect stakeholders in the ecosystem? Up to here, if any part of the talk sounds interesting to you, we highly encourage you to check out our CHI paper and come chat with us at CHI. You can also directly reach out to us through emails. And thanks for sticking around. We appreciate your time.